Hey guys, welcome back. Let's make some simple feet and some simple hands. The feet are really easy. We left off last time, we made a subdivided version and this version. I'm going to work right now on the non-subdivided version because the feet are really simple and it's easier to add them to the non-subdivided version. So let's just make a cube like this, and all we need to do is extrude in here like that. One more time, and then we bring down the face there, and then we extrude here, up, delete, like that. And if you press 3, we can see already looks like a foot, and then we just kind of shape it into place. And it's going to be in a shoe, so it doesn't really matter, but we can always make it look good no matter what. So take the top here. Okay, I have symmetry on, so I'm going to need to turn symmetry off. We're probably at the maximum of what we can do here. Can't really do much more. So at this point, we need to subdivide, so we'll subdivide once. And now we can adjust again. Now we need to combine it to the body, and that's really easy to do. We'll just delete these faces, combine the two, and double click here and here, and then use bridge. Sometimes this happens when you use a bridge command. That's okay, we just are missing shaders on some of the faces. Now we'll just apply soft smoothing, and this is ready to go. Now we can space this out a little bit more, and one way to do this is to double click the edge, shift right click, and click edit edge flow. It's gonna just pull that out, pull this up, and make an even distribution up there. And then just to make it even, we can add with edge flow an edge here. That'll give us a little more room to bend the just to be able to bend that ankle. And then we'll pull this out and pull this out, just to add those little bones there. Okay, now if you want to add it to the other side, we can just delete this, select this section here. I'm doing it the cheap and easy way. You can also use mirror. I'm just going to duplicate, put -1 in scale, select them all, combine, and then select the vertices here and click merge. The reason I don't want to select all the vertices is because sometimes like vertices are really close together, like here will merge, or in the armpit. So I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just going to manually select the vertices I want to merge, like that. So the feet are more or less ready to go. And now let's make the hands. And hands are actually pretty easy to make if you know the steps. So the way you do that is you first isolate the palm. So I'm going to actually do it at the origin, and we'll make just a generic hand. And from there, we'll make it fit by scaling it and distorting it to make it fit our character's hand. So what we need to do is make a palm like this and give it some divisions in depth, I guess, like this, for 4 fingers, like that. And then we want to make sure that these 4 fingers are square, like that. Now the index finger is going to be slightly bigger than the others, so we can just kind of scale this like that, and the pinky smaller. So we just make a shape like this, and we want to make sure they're square like that. And then from here we can shape it into a palm. Next part is we need to make a finger, and because our middle finger is facing this way, straight, and the other ones are curved, it's easier to make that one. And we'll just pull this out like this. we can temporarily extrude these fingers. Now I'm going to extrude them. It's just a temporary extrude because I want to be able to, and we just delete this, subdivide, because the next step we have to subdivide, but we can't really subdivide until we have all the fingers. So I'm going to subdivide once, extrude once like this. Now we need to turn off keep faces together, because if keep faces is on, when we extrude, you get this. But if you turn this off, they extrude separately. And then we can just extrude them like that. We can also check to see if our scale is right, and it's not. So just do this. Also, you notice how my pivot is reset. So sometimes when you're working on pivots and stuff, your pivot can get permanently changed. So all you need to do is just open up the tool by double clicking it, click reset, and then reset, and then close that. All right, so now the next part is we need to extrude the thumb. Can't add more detail to this, because if we do, it's just going to make it harder to work with. So at this point, we subdivide. Now, if you think you want to change the shape at some point, duplicate it and just hide it. And then this one will subdivide like that. And then these little nubs will delete. Just you can grow your selection by pressing Shift greater than or Shift period, like that, and then delete. So here we have the thumb, and then we have this finger. So let's work on this finger now. Now we need to add more detail to this finger into the knuckles and the crease here. And I'm going to use the multi-cut tool here and just go like that. So we make a wider cut on the top knuckles, and inside here a shorter cut or a closer cut, like that. Let's make a nail quickly. Nail is really simple to do. It's probably, doing it this way is really, really easy, and you don't even have to think about it too much. You select these faces here, extrude, scale, and then rotate like that. And that is it. Now we can shape it. If you want more nail, you can push these forward. If you want like a shorter cut nail, just bring that back. Let's do the other fingers, and this is why I like to do it this way. I'm going to duplicate, select the middle finger, delete the body there, the palm, and then if I move my pivot here, I can duplicate, snap here, and snap there. I have my other 4 fingers. Now we just need to shape them. Now we can combine them. We need to just make sure we delete this extra one. Now if I combine them, now all I need to do is select these vertices here and start merging. So I'm just pressing G and just merging these connections here. Let's work on the thumb a little bit. And then what I need to do here is add the same cuts that I added to the other finger. So this is a basic hand, but the thumb rotation is wrong. It needs to be rotated in the other direction. And we can do that by rotating from here. In here. So what we can do is extract or separate this button here. So this will separate the thumb. When I just center the pivot, I can move the pivot here if I want, and then if I line it up to the camera, so it's lined up like this, I can use the outside rotation and then rotate it the amount that I need. So in this case, it's plus to make it bigger. We just need to rotate it. So like I want this loop to be here. That's more or less good. If it's easier to connect, we can delete this loop here and then select both of them, combine. And then I can use bridge like that. So now the thumb is rotated more or less how we need it. And this edge, we'll click Edit Edge Flow. And we'll just smooth that out. And we can just adjust. Now we need to change the shape. It's very flat, and that's not what hands look like. So I'm going to go into vertex selection and select these vertices here, and then from here, move the pivot there. I'm going to rotate down. Just to give the hand a cupping. And then we need to do the same with the thumb, but we'll do that by just moving it with self-select. The next step is to fix the space between the fingers and add some geo for the knuckles. Because this right here is not good. You can't have one edge loop in between two geometries that are supposed to move. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to delete these edges here. Like that. We just need to delete them temporarily. So just press delete like that. And then use the Insert Edge Loop tool, relative distance, autocomplete on, insert with edge flow. And I'm going to add one here and one here. I can space them out a little more, because if you look at your hands, you have a lot of space between your fingers. And if I press 3, you can see what we made. We have more space in here. Now, the geometry here on the bottom actually is closer than the one on top. That creates more space here. So now we need to reconnect this. We can add a loop here on top of the knuckles, just for a little extra detail. Now, to do that, we first need to delete these edges here, because they're going to get in the way. So, let's do that quickly. Relative distance. And I don't want edge flow. I'm going to turn off autocomplete. So I double click, then shift click here. And we'll do equal distance actually from here. Hit enter. Then we can use the multi-cut tool and just reconnect over here. So at this point, we need to think about the wrist, because the hand is basically done. Like, I don't really need to do any more to this. If I want to add more detail, I actually will do it later, because we're going to subdivide this at one point one more time, and then I can add a lot more detail to this. But for now, this is good. Looks good to me. I think maybe it's a little short What I mean by that is our character's got these big, long fingers, and I can just scale it to fix that. And then also, I just want to click soft select here and just make this a little bigger because he's got these like lanky knuckles here. So just doing a little bit of that will help. Just a little bit like that. Now here's the thing. Our hand has a subdivision of, let's go to display, heads up display, poly count. So this has a subdivision of 20. 20 does not work. If you start from a cube and you subdivide a cube, you get to 8 edges, right? From 4 to 8. And if you subdivide 8, you get to 16. And then you subdivide 16, you get to 32, but you don't get to 20. So we need to get rid of 2 edges. So how do we do that? Well, we can just find 2 edges on the top or the bottom because those are like flat areas, and we can then use that to get rid of those edges. So if I select something, let's see, here and here, and then there and there, and click Control Delete and double click, it is now 16 vertices. So now if I just move these over, and now I have 16 vertices. But we have these pentagons here, so we need to get rid of those. And all we need to do here is just redraw this a little bit. We can add an extra loop like we did here. So to do that, we just need to temporarily get rid of these edges and these 2. So if you select an edge that you want to move, shift right click, slide edge tool, and then middle drag. Same here. Slide edge tool, and just middle drag until it moves. So now this is 16. So 16 will work with our character. So let's bring him back. That's the other hand. Low res, we'll put in reference. Get rid of this. Here's the one with the feet. And let's go. Go the hand, so it's this hand that we made. Now, all I need to do is select this edge here, a little bit of soft select, and then scale here. So this body will not match this hand, but because it's a subdivision, because there's 8 subdivisions here, we can actually make it work by subdividing it once with the feet already attached. That's why we did the feet first. So now we subdivide. Now the feet have subdivision, and the arm has subdivision, and if we double click this edge, it's 16, and our hand edge is 16 as well. So then all we need to do now is delete this geometry here, select the hand, the body, combine, double click the edge, double click this edge, click bridge. Now this is not connecting the way I want it because I want this rotation. So I'm going to click the bridge offset, middle click it, and drag. And you can see I can drag it any way I want. So I just want to make this connection go this way, continue. It's missing its shader, so right click, assign existing, Lambert 1, and soft select. And there we go. Now we have feet and hands. We can add more detail later with some sculpting. But for now, this is good. Let's add the hand to the other side. So I'm going to delete 2 up, like that. I'm going to duplicate, and then flip. It's not centered, so I'm going to freeze and reset. So modify, freeze, modify, reset, and then scale -1 here. And then we'll just delete. So I'm going to select the part that I want to keep, right click, invert selection, delete. Select the body, combine, select these vertices, and merge. In the next video, we'll work on the head. If you like this tutorial, please leave a comment, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.